Well then, Gareth Bale, the footballing legend, has officially retired from both club and international football. Wout Weghorst, is he going to Manchester United? Is he the perfect player that United need? Let us know in the comments. And Chelsea look to hijack the potential move of João Félix to either Arsenal or Manchester United. This is all coming up for you in the next minutes or so here on DR Sports. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. But let's get into the main breaking news here of the afternoon. It's Gareth Bale retiring from international and club football. Wow, what a player, what a career he has had. He rounded it off with this less than an hour ago on Twitter. He says, after careful and thoughtful consideration, I announce my immediate retirement from club and international football. I feel incredibly fortunate to have realised my dream of playing the sport I love. It has truly given me some of the best moments of my life. From my very first touch at Southampton to my last with LAFC and everything in between shaped a club career that I have immense pride and gratitude for. Playing for and captaining my country 111 times has truly been a dream come true. To my previous clubs, Southampton, Tottenham, Real Madrid, and finally LAFC, where he's been for the last 6 months or so. All my previous managers, coaches, backroom staff, teammates, and the dedicated fans, agents. He shouts out his agent as well for getting him some very big moves. And all my amazing friends and family, the impact you have had is immeasurable. He goes on to say, so I move on with anticipation to the next stage of my life, a time of change and transition, an opportunity for a new adventure with 3 dots and ellipsis right at the end of that paragraph there. Is he hinting that maybe he goes into another sport? We know how good he is at golf. For instance, he could easily jump into the PGA Tour tomorrow if he wanted to. He's that good. 5 Champions League titles with Real Madrid. One of them, of course, 2 of them against my club, Liverpool. He scored that incredible overhead kick goal in the final. Potentially the best Champions League goal of all time. Scored so many memorable goals for club and country. As we know, took Wales so far in Euro 2016. He inspired the nation and helped them qualify for both the Euros and the World Cup. What a player Gareth Bale is. Guys, in the comments, I'd like to know from you now. The debate will start happening now. After 664 games, 226 goals and 22 trophies, including 5 Champions Leagues, is Gareth Bale the greatest British footballer of all time? That is the question I'm asking you right now. What is your most favourite Gareth Bale memories? Bring them in to me in the chats right now. A lot of comments coming in. Harry Kane saying one of the greatest British players in history. Gareth Bale, one of the greatest players of his generation, says Speed Shot. Welcome to the bridge, Felix. Come on, says the Donat. But we're still on Gareth Bale here. Mujib calling him Golf Boy. Josiah saying, yes, he is the greatest British player of all time. And it's not even close, he claims. Definitely the best Welsh player, him or Ian Rush, says Ty Jr. For me, that goal versus Liverpool, says Mohammed, was his favourite Bale moment of all time. Unbelievable when you think of the career that he's had from starting off, at such a young age through that Southampton academy. He goes on to play really well for them and gets that big move to Tottenham in the summer of 2011. I think it was around £16 million. And then he moves on, doesn't he, to Real Madrid. He joined Tottenham in 2007, moves on in 2011. 2013, he moves to Real Madrid. Incredible career when you look at the numbers, the trophies won, the caps won for his club and country. Unbelievable. So the comment now that I'll be looking for is, what is your favourite Bale moment so far of his career? And is he the greatest British player of all time? Spurs for life. A very keen Bale fan here says his best moment was the hat-trick versus Inter Milan, 100% a legend. I do believe that moment, that game against Inter Milan, where he absolutely tore Maicon to pieces, for me, that was the moment when everyone around in the footballing world, especially in Europe, stood up and said, wow, who's this kid? We knew about him before, of course we did, but this was the world stage, the big moment for him to deliver. Not only did he deliver, he scores a hat-trick against Inter Milan Unbelievable performance that was. I remember it, up and down that left-hand side. 3 goals, fairly similar across the goalkeeper. Anonymous saying his bicycle kick was the best. Obina saying his favourite Bale moment was stuffing Liverpool. Thank you very much for that. Has Gareth Bale accomplished more than any British player overall? Ask the Donomat. From memory, I can think of another British player who won 4 European Cups. That was Phil Neal at Liverpool throughout the 70s and 80s. But off the top of my head, I can't tell you another British player, unless you can correct me in the comments. I can't think of another one that has won 5 Champions Leagues with the same club in Real Madrid and so many La Ligas, Copa del Reys, etc., etc. I can't personally think of another one. So if we are saying that, then surely we have to say that he's up there. If he's not the best British player of all time, he's probably the most successful. 3 La Ligas, a Copa del Rey, 3 Super Cups, 3 Club World Cups, and let's not forget, by the way, in the last 6 months at LAFC, he's only won an MLS Cup as well. So that's another trophy. He scored so many crucial goals in so many of those triumphs that I just mentioned, led his country to the Euro semi-final, captained them at a World Cup. And a really incredible career from Gareth Bale. At 33, is there a question mark over how he's finished his career though in America? Could he have actually stayed on a little bit longer and gone back to a club in Europe? Maybe the love wasn't there for him anymore. Maybe the passion, the same hunger and determination that he had as a 17-year-old big-eared kid at Southampton. Fast forward 17 odd years, does he still have that same hunger? I think it's clear to say no, because of the time that he had at Real Madrid during the end of his time there. Let's not forget he went to Tottenham on loan, did well there as well. But when he came back to Real Madrid, he was assigned a pretty bad squad number. I think it was 18 after having 11 for so long. We're so in the know, aren't we, about the fallouts that he had with the board at Real Madrid. Pretty much every manager that he played under, even though he was so successful. I think in that initial period when he joined, him and Carlo Ancelotti clearly got along because he was playing so much. He was winning them big finals. And then I would say after that Liverpool kind of overhead kick, it was almost as if every week we saw his agent coming out saying, no, Manchester United can't afford him. He's not going anywhere. So many times we heard of Bale going to Manchester United. It never happened. He went back to Real Madrid and, of course, finished his career at LAFC. Harry Kane in the comments, Ryan Giggs and Wayne Rooney may have better careers than Bale, to be fair. Tatted Jinder 88 saying David Beckham with 3 question marks in caps. Bale could have gone to Al Nassr, says Anonymous. There you go. So peak Bale can talk to a majority of legends, says Abdus. And so many. What about Wayne Rooney and Ryan Giggs, says Harry Kane? Yes, I mean, they're up there as well. But to win 5 Champions Leagues, I think Rooney won 1. I think Giggs won 2. Again, if you can name another British player that's won that many. Phil Neal, I know, like I said, has won 4. But there you go. Gareth Bale retires. Leave your comments for him in the comment section. Right, let's move on to Manchester United now. Wow, this is a big one. Wout Weghorst, who scored 2 goals last night for his loan club, Besiktas. Of course, he is on loan from Burnley. Waved goodbye to the Besiktas fans last night after scoring 9 goals in 18 games since the start of the season. Scored as well at the World Cup against Argentina, no less, with a very well-worked free-kick goal, which he has done before in his career. So, Wout Weghorst, where do you go? I mean, we know that he's going to have a big conversation now with Burnley, talking to them about how he ends this loan move quickly to move on to Manchester United. Will he get that number 7 shirt? Well, we've been told that number 7 shirt is apparently being held for João Félix, who also has now been spoken again today about potentially moving. Get ready for this, guys. This is breaking as well. To Chelsea. Now, how many times have we seen Chelsea in this transfer window alone go for players that other teams are attracted to? We've seen them go for Mudryk. We've seen them going for Enzo Fernandez. Now it looks like João Félix could go to Chelsea on loan until the end of the season. Wow, who would have thought that? I mean, when I list those other names, I guess you would have thought it was actually quite predictable that Chelsea would go in for yet another player that they haven't scouted initially. But we're hearing now, 16 minutes ago, from David Ornstein, again, breaking news. Chelsea have reached a verbal agreement to sign João Félix on loan from Atlético de Madrid. Fee is £11 million, which is below the initial Atleti ask. Manchester United and Arsenal keen on the 23-year-old. He had a choice, but the Chelsea project appealed the most. Wow, this is incredible news. More reinforcements to follow this month, says David Ornstein, for Chelsea. Is this a Potter signing? Is this a Bowley signing? This is the key question. Is this the man that Graham Potter needs, or wants even, to give him that boost until the end of the season? Fabrizio Romano also tweeting 8 minutes ago, Chelsea are now in advanced talks to sign João Félix from Atleti on loan until June. The fee will be a little bit more than £10 million with salary covered and taxes. Talks accelerated after the injuries after the last game. Let's not forget, Raheem Sterling's still there, Pulisic, Aubameyang is still playing or barely playing through the middle. Kai Havertz, you've got Nkunku coming back into the team when he gets signed officially in the summer. There are so many players in that attacking position for Chelsea. They've just added another one. I'm seeing some people on Twitter already saying João Félix to Chelsea is hilarious. I'd love to know what the plan is there beyond chucking money at every player who might be available, regardless of whether they fix a problem or not. Ah, yes, the player that Chelsea needed the most is João Félix. Very sarcastic on Twitter there. But it looks like he's blown Manchester United and Arsenal out of the water with this news breaking to us just now. Chelsea again. Well, let's actually ask Arsenal and Manchester United fans. First question for you both sets of fans is, did you really want him in the first place? Was he a man you needed to fix the problems at United and Arsenal? Not that there are many problems at the minute. And third of all, how do you feel again now that Chelsea seem to have hijacked this move right from under the noses of both Arsenal and Manchester United? Unbelievable. We also understand that Chelsea are also working to include an option to buy the unsettled forward in the loan agreement. Felix, whose relationship with Atletico coach El Cholo Diego Simeone has deteriorated to the point where he considers an exit essential in his career. He's keen to join the London club Chelsea and has already told his teammates that he's leaving. Let's not forget as well, last night, guys, Atletico Madrid lose at home to Barcelona 1-0. Felix comes off after 70 minutes, has a very, very bad performance. He went hiding almost. And now he goes to Chelsea on loan with maybe, we're yet to find this out and confirm this news, but maybe there is an option to buy him as well at the end of the window. Let's not forget, he only joined Atleti in 2019 for 120 million. When you look back at the last 3 years, I don't think he's had a season where he scored goals in the double figure mark. So if there's even any Atleti fans, how do you feel about this move? Is it premature? Did he need to go? And are you happy that he's gone? Let's also remember the fact that Atleti have also sold Matheus Cunha to Wolves on loan. Now they've sold Felix. So now the pressure is going to be solely upon Antoine Griezmann at Atletico Madrid. Unless Correa steps up, unless a couple of other fringe players like Carrasco step up as well. What does this now mean for Atleti? There's so many questions that I've got for you. Let me know in the comments what you think. Gareth Bale, big up to Meshas. He says very underrated throughout his trophy cabinet, says different. Mustafa joining us a little bit late. Is João Félix not going to Arsenal with 2 question marks? Well, no. It looks like right now we've seen, and it's been confirmed in the last 10 minutes, guys, that João Félix is on his way to Chelsea. As we speak, we've seen that the verbal agreement has now been reached and João Félix is gone to Chelsea from what we understand here. Unbelievable, really, when you think about, you know, how much Arsenal fans wanted Felix, how much United fans wanted Felix. I'm not totally sure why Chelsea are signing another player, to be honest, that isn't an out-and-out number 9, although he's very creative. You have to get him to play well, and then to be physical enough to deal with the Premier League in that kind of forward position. They've already got a number 9, which hasn't worked out for them at all in Aubameyang. But is he really the man to make the move? He's quoted as saying, "I like to make other people enjoy my football." Can he make them enjoy it at Chelsea right now? I tell you what, they need a bit of enjoyment there, because right now 1 win in 7 games is not what Chelsea fans want to hear. But from all sources now, Chelsea have beaten Manchester United and Arsenal to sign João Félix. Why choose Chelsea over Arsenal or United, says Rizwan. Good question. He is not the man, says KD21. João Félix, Aubameyang, Ziyech, Havertz sounds good on paper. Of course it does. Chelsea's squad sounds good on paper, but as I mentioned, 1 win in 7. Big pressure on Graham Potter already. And don't forget, they've already got Lukaku as well to come back after his loan from Inter Milan. Unbelievable. End of his career by João Félix, says Jean Paul. A bit unfair. Only 23, looking for another kickstart to his career at Chelsea. J. Rob says, I wanted him at Arsenal, but I'm not upset seeing him go to Chelsea as they need midfielders. Todd B should just sack the entire scouting department. Well, he can't do that because he's just got them all from Brighton with Graham Potter. A little word on the Chelsea scouting department, which is basically Brighton's old scouting department. How would they feel? You know, you're sending your scouts to the depths of South America, Asia. You're sending them to Africa to really find the next hidden gem. You're doing all this work behind the scenes. And then Ted Bowley puts the news on. He goes, oh, look, I reckon Arsenal or United might get Bowley. So it might get Felix. Should we call back all those scouts from Asia, South America and Africa? Let's get him. Bring Felix down. Get him down to the end of the season. 10 million loan. Bosh, there you go. Chelsea scouts, if you're watching, I'm pretty sure you're quite busy right now, but are you happy with this signing of João Félix? Chelsea fans, we've just put a poll up in the comments for you right now. Are you happy with Felix? The immediate response is very balanced, both yes and no. João Félix about to spend 6 months in 10th place, says Alex P, with a manager that doesn't know how to manage. What a way to ruin your career. Very harsh there. Peculiar decision from Felix. Arsenal and United way more attractive prospects. Money talks, question mark, says Sat P. 100% hijack, says Gibalcombe. And Sully says they don't have a scouting department, they just jump on Twitter, which is a little bit what I was alluding to there. And Twitter is popping off right now if you are a Chelsea, Arsenal or a United fan. I guess the news about Mudryk, or the lack of news, has kind of gone under the carpet now. Now that this Felix news has broken. But it's just unbelievable that they've gone in for Felix when it was so obvious that they wanted people that weren't Felix, people like Mudryk, people like Enzo Fernandez. No. What does this now mean for Chelsea's pursuit of a Mudryk? Does this now free up Arsenal to go in again for Mudryk and raise that fee to get accepted? Unbelievable how each transfer really does have a knock-on effect. But João Félix, the 23-year-old Portuguese starlet, we've been talking about him for the last week non-stop here on DR Sports. Robbie especially, does he want him at Arsenal? Was he the perfect replacement really for the lack of Mudryk coming through the door? That can all be put to bed now because Felix goes to Chelsea. Where does he fit in? Where does he play? Does he start? Does he come in off the left? Does he play through the middle? Does he play as a 10? So many questions to be answered, and I think the injuries have really started to pile up now for Chelsea in a big way, which is guaranteed to have pushed this transfer through a little bit quicker than we would have thought. Unbelievable, really. I mean, Graham Potter, he's come off the Chelsea game last night responding to fans, responding to the media after they asked him about some of the Chelsea fans that were heard venting their frustration towards him by singing Thomas Tuchel chants at the Etihad. Does this now buy him some more time with the fans now that they've brought in this superstar João Félix? Unbelievable. And does he stay at the end of the season? Of course, we know that he needs to hit the ground running in a big way, not only to make sure he gets that loan move turned into a permanent move, but just for his career in general. It's kind of stuttered really in the last 3 years. There was such a massive, rightly so as well, there was such a massive hype about him when he first burst onto the scene in a red Benfica shirt, had half a season there, goes to Atletico Madrid, and it has not worked out at all for him there. Very slight player. I mean, I can't really see him gelling into the Premier League like that. I do think he'll need some time. You can see from just looking at him how slight he is. Obviously a very silky player. But Chelsea right now are in a real dogfight. just to stay in the top half of the table. Is he the man that you really need to go from 10th to 4th? I'm not too sure. The votes are piling in right now. Chelsea fans, are you happy with Felix? 3 minutes into the votes, and I'll update it at the end. We've got no 56%. Augustine saying, I hate Chelsea now, suffocating Arsenal with their ridiculous money. It seems like Arsenal fans are hurting over this news now. It's obvious that Todd Boehly is doing this in spite of Stan Kroenke. It's just a big dog's games. Sully says they can still go for Mudryk. It's only a loan deal, no? Of course they can, but if you're going to buy one of the two, get the man who's on form, get the man who you want to take you into that future kind of era under Mikel Arteta. For me, that's Mudryk. For me, that is Mudryk, and it is not João Félix, unless he absolutely lights up the Premier League for the next 6 months. Well, not even 6 months. So this is till May, let's not forget, until the end of the Premier League. Let's see if he lights up the Premier League in these next 4 months, and then we can have another conversation. But right now, should Arsenal fans be gutted about this? I don't think so. And that is only if you get Mudryk, because then if you don't get him, you have lost out to Chelsea big time in terms of them hijacking the transfer. But Arsenal fans, Manchester United fans, how do you feel about this one? Chelsea is just a lull club, says Luv Dazalan. Felix isn't the answer, says the SJD, for Chelsea. He is too lightweight. Another Havertz flop. Felix will get clattered in the Premier League, says Maximum Potential. Too much silk. Hold that L, Arsenal, says Fichajo. Number 9. I won't believe it until I see it. Mad transfer window, says Nithin. We ain't hurting. Relax. If they get Mudryk too, then maybe we'll cry, says Richard, the Arsenal fan. Arsenal were never in for Felix, saying Arsenal legend here. Well, tell that to the AFTV lads, because they certainly were talking about him a lot. Faze Obama says João Felix is so versatile, played left, right and a striker, and can even play cam for Atletico and Portugal. So I don't see where he fits in. Man United was not getting Felix, says the special one. Well, we heard that apparently they were saving the number 7 for Felix, but now it looks like Weghorst might take that number from Ronaldo at United, the 6'6" striker who has a very good pressing record. In fact, last season at Burnley, he made the most presses in the whole of the Premier League. I think it was 47.8 per 90 minutes, almost one every 2 minutes. He is pressing, he's relentless. He hounds down those defenders to nick the ball off them and set up chances. And of course, we saw that very, very clever goal at the World Cup against Argentina. I was at that game. And of course, he did wave goodbye to those Besiktas fans last night. So the writing's on the door for him. It looks like he's going to Manchester United. It doesn't now look like João Félix goes anywhere apart from Chelsea. And all these reports that I'm reading are now out of date, because it looks like that in the last half an hour, Chelsea have their man in João Félix. We've also seen Moises Caicedo be linked to Liverpool. We've heard that the Brighton CEO has today confirmed that there have been no official concrete offers for Caicedo from Liverpool. So even though Liverpool fans like myself want him available for 60 million, it doesn't look like we've made an official bid, but apparently the price has gone down from 60 to around 42 now. So does that mean that we go in for him? Does that mean that he leaves Brighton this window, or is it a summer job? It's unbelievable when you consider their scouts and how they've all been pushed over to Chelsea. But yes, Paul Barber jokes that his laces will cost 42 million amid the transfer interest from not just Liverpool, a lot of different clubs. And of course, they only bought him a year ago, less than a year ago. They bought him for 4.5 million in February 2021. They're now looking to sell him for at least 10 times more than that. Unbelievable. Liverpool believe he'll end up at Chelsea, according to David Lynch of the Sunday Mirror. Understand Caicedo is high up on Chelsea's list of midfield targets. Brighton do not want to sell him in January, but would accept 70 to 75 million. And apparently we're also hearing that he's not amongst Liverpool's top 3 midfield targets, from David Lynch again 20 hours ago. So again, a lot of contrasting reports here from Caicedo's team. But the big news today is Gareth Bale retires from club and international football. If you want to catch his statement, go back to the start of this episode. A couple more super chats to read out before we go. Garbo Staunton saying, this goes to show that Felix is a mercenary. And that means that he'll fit in at Chelsea, he says. Nailin Mather says, imagine signing Felix and still can win games. A bit harsh there towards João Félix, as we know. Let's have a look at this poll. It's pretty much evened out now. Chelsea fans happy with Felix. Yes, 46% of you. No, 54% of you as we stand. Deginus saying that Felix is a bum. Felix downgraded. There's no way, AGT. As a Madrid fan, I now understand why Perez wanted the Super League. It's because of club like Chelsea spending mad money. 20 million spent on a 6-month loan, says Alex P. No obligation to buy another Havertz 2.0 and anonymous jokes. Weghorst to Chelsea. Here we go. Well, Chelsea have obviously hijacked that big move today, but I can't see them hijacking Weghorst as well. But when we're talking about João Felix being hijacked, maybe has he looked at the recent performances of Manchester United, of Arsenal, and thought, no, I don't want to go there. I want to go to a team who gives me a bit more of a challenge. I can't see that happening. I think personally the money has been too good for him to turn down. Can he handle the league though? That's the big question. He can't handle La Liga, as we've seen across a consistent basis over 3 seasons. He hasn't really bulked up in terms of muscle mass since he's joined either, which tells me if you can't do that in La Liga, then how are you going to deal with someone like, I don't know, trying to think of a big defender. Let's go with the Leicester defender Johnny Evans, right? If Chelsea go to Leicester, can you imagine João Felix physically getting the better of these big over 6 foot centre backs? Me personally, it's a no. Amazing James with a super chat here. Honestly, as an Arsenal fan, I'm salty. So he's admitting that Arsenal fans are hurting right now over this hijack. But let's be honest, Chelsea won't progress with Felix in the squad. They need improvement in other positions as well. Pep is not interested in Felix, which says it all really, says Fletch. I guess if Pep isn't interested in you, then he can't be that good of a football player. But Sully says, FaZe, I think Arsenal need a striker. Not sure about the others. Imagine Dan Burn coming up against João Felix for Newcastle. Great shout in the comments there from you guys. Big up to R. As, who says, love you, AGT. Thank you very much. Love you too, mate. Big up. What do Chelsea need to regain form? Asked Bongani. Well, if you're asking me, it's definitely not sign João Felix, but there you go. Chelsea will just hike the prices for Arsenal targets. What the hell is that, says BNM. And Civil Salad says, these man hoping Felix is going to flop. It's time to be salty. Kyrgios TV saying Chelsea scouts just keep refreshing the football newsfeed and pick the names that pop out to hijack. Chance to play with Martinelli's pace and Saka's, and he turns it down, says Rochelle. How funny. C. Goddard, this makes no sense for Chelsea. They have no creativity. Would have been a part of a team at Arsenal that score goals together, but he went for the bag and no pressure. Interesting. I mean, if he did join Arsenal, let's just say he gets his 10 games under his belt from now until the end of the season, they win the league, he then becomes a whole different prospect altogether if he's a league winner at Arsenal. But no, he signed Chelsea. Me personally, I don't think this is the right move for him. I actually didn't think Arsenal or Manchester United was the right move for him either. I could see him at a Juventus or a Napoli or one of those teams, you know. I would have gone somewhere like that, a Monaco. Maybe that was a bit of a downgrade, but I would have gone for a team in Europe just because the spotlight will be less on him if he really wants to succeed. And let's not forget, still only 23, got at least another 10 years to go in his career. If he really wanted the best move for him, I personally, if I was him, would have gone somewhere where the beaming light isn't necessarily in your face 24/7. And guess what? If he goes to Chelsea, it will be. Because Graham Potter now, if he struggles even more, they're going to be asking, well, what about João Felix? What about Nkunku? What about Fofana that you brought in? There's so many questions now that come down to this transfer. And I do think he's made the wrong decision. But listen, he probably starts immediately in Chelsea because of the injuries. He probably gets chances to impress. And if he does impress, then we really find out the real João Felix. We really do. But this time right now in his career, knowing that Chelsea lack that creativity at the minute, is he the man that Chelsea need to unlock that Premier League defence door and really start not only scoring goals but assisting for Chelsea as well. Oh, wow. What an episode of DR Sports Transfers that was. So much breaking news. We had to just go live for you and bring you that incredible news that not only has Gareth Bale retired, but also João Félix looks like he's going to Chelsea. Now, where do Chelsea finish now in the league? They're currently sitting in 10th. Does this signing guarantee them a top 6, let alone top 4 finish? But Chelsea have so much work to do now. Where does this transfer leave them in terms of where do they finish at the end of the season? I can't believe it. If you've really enjoyed this impromptu live, I mean, at DR Sports, when we hear of big breaking news, we go live. It's that simple. We want to be the ones that break this news to you. We want to be the ones that give you that in-depth analysis on YouTube. And hopefully, if you think we've done that today, then remember, like the video, comment as well with your thoughts about Bale, Weghorst, Felix, Caicedo. What does this mean for Chelsea? What does this mean for Arsenal? Where do United stand now? All these questions, keep them coming in the comments long after we're gone. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you do subscribe to DR Sports as well. And if you're into your Liverpool stuff, I'm over on the COP TV too, so make sure you go there as well. Well then, Arsenal fans, how do you feel? Manchester United fans, how do you feel? Chelsea fans, how do you feel about the news that João Félix has reached a verbal agreement to join Chelsea on loan until the end of the season? Also, a massive shout out to Gareth Bale. What an incredible footballing career. I want this one answered as well in the comments. Is he the greatest British footballer of all time? Myself, AGT for DR Sports. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.